This evening, GNBA warns broadcasters to follow the law. Education expert talks learning in Guyana. Linden Town Week to continue amidst harassment scandal. And we bring you the top regional and international headlines of the day.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Today is Wednesday, April the 11th, 2018, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. The chair of the Guyana National Broadcasting Authority, Leslie Sobers, notes that many broadcasters have not been following key parts of the Broadcasting Bill Amendment 2017. Esther Sobers has the details in this report.
So if television stations and radio stations refuse to comply, is there any penalties involved?
Oh yeah, the law allows for all kinds of things, like shut you down, take away your equipment, jail you. But not we jail you, Mama. There are two things that could happen. We can place you before the court. We can place an error broadcaster before the court. Once you violate the law, we place you before the court.
The Guyana National Broadcasting Authority is reminding radio and television broadcasters that they are still required to air 1 hour of government public service announcements a day within a certain time frame. According to GNBA Chairman Leslie Sobers, this new legislation is not sitting well with several radio and television broadcasters who have opted to the Attorney General for an injunction on the ruling.
We've been advocating that that all stations, radio and television, should air public service announcements, PSAs. We're saying to the total amount of 1 hour per day. You spread it around the day as you so desire.
Okay.
1 hour is 60 minutes. We're talking about the day has 24 hours. But we're saying to them, look, in your distribution of it, don't try to put the bulk of it 3 o'clock in the morning when people sleeping and won't hear. We're asking that you put it in peak hours.
And have television stations been complying with such?
Where people most likely will hear it.
While some broadcasters are refusing to comply with the new legislation, Sobers was quick to note that it is mandated by the Guyana's constitution.
They filed a suit against the Attorney General asking that the court find that the request was unconstitutional.
Okay.
Well, my only advice to the persons who make that claim is for them to carefully read, digest, and dissect Article 146 of the Constitution of Guyana. Carefully read it, carefully digest it. We got to dissect it first. Read, dissect, digest Article 146 of the Constitution.
However, Article 146, which protects freedom of expression, provides that a law that imposes restrictions on any person or institution advancing, disseminating, or supporting an ideal which may result in ethnic division shall not be held consistent with that article. It also says that freedom of expression does not relate to hate speeches or other expression capable of exciting hostility or ill will against any person or class of persons. It must be noted that errant broadcasters who refuse to comply, they will be subject to legal actions. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The government of Guyana has begun a worldwide search for the best experts in the field of oil and gas to staff the recently formed Department of Energy in the Ministry of the Presidency. Speaking to reporters this morning, the president admitted that finding these persons may be a challenge, saying, "It is bound to be a challenge because this is an international industry. We are aiming at a world-class industry, so we have to get the best persons. We obviously have to attract the best people from around the world. We are not attempting to avoid that responsibility." Nonetheless, President Granger intends to provide another update on the establishment of the agency in May. School of the Nations is currently hosting a regional education leadership conference. The experts have come to share their knowledge and experience with each other as a means of devising improved methods of educating the nation's youth. Wendell Jeffries sat down with one of the experts and filed this report.
Dr. Makoki, thanks for coming.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
With us. Tell us a little about yourself.
I come from Northern Ireland. That's the part of Ireland that comes under the British rule. I've lived there for, now I'm not going to tell you because then you'll be guessing my age. I started, I suppose, 50 years ago working with children who had special needs, particularly developmental disabilities, intellectual disability, for example. And then I began to be more and more interested into what our knowledge and learning that we develop in countries like Ireland, Britain, Europe. How can you share that with other parts of the world? Because there are more children with disabilities in the developing world, as we call it. 90% of them are actually in those developing countries. And yet 90% of the world's resources focused on people with disabilities is spent in the northern countries. I met up with Brian O'Toole, who was working here in Guyana, and I was very excited by the prospect that not only the work that we were doing in Africa, but could we also replicate that in another continent? And Guyana was an obvious choice. And what Brian was doing in Guyana was particularly unique. He was really working at raising up within communities leaders who could take responsibility for helping families through volunteer workers to show them that children with disability, there is hope.
You're talking about Dr.
Brian O'Toole.
From the School of the Nations.
You might know him from the School of the Nations. He's part Irish because his father was Irish, his mother was Iranian. He's been in Guyana now from 1979, so coming up 40 years. We were working both in the coastal areas as well as in the interior. And what we were trying to do was to show people through the medium of video the activities that they can be used to help the children's growth and development.
We helped Dr. O'Toole with a book that he has, and he introduced the book to us the last time we were there at the beginning of the conference.
It's a unique book in a number of different ways, Wendell. It's very much written with the people who have shared the experience with Brian. He's a humble man. He's not a person who's particularly out to take credit. So all through the pages, he recognizes the great strength there is in Guyanese people. We slept under the stars, which was a nice experience. But I remember waking up and looking up at the moon, and a big chunk of the moon was eaten away. I couldn't understand what was going on until we realized it was a lunar eclipse that was happening. So I was really doubly privileged then to see in the beautiful clear skies of Guyana a lunar eclipse, the first and only one I suspect I've seen.
How can your expertise benefit Guyanese?
Well, I fully agree with Dr. O'Toole on this. You certainly need to raise up educated leaders, and therefore giving people access to third-level education that is accessible to them where they are, that they don't have to go overseas to do that.
How has Guyanese been accepting or adapting to what you and Dr. O'Toole are offering? Do you find that there's any resistance to it? Is this a nice transition? How are we doing?
Well, I've been bowled over by how eager people are to learn and to acquire knowledge, not just for knowledge's sake, but also so that they can then take that learning back to their families and to their communities.
Dr. Roy, thank you for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Wendell. Last night, police arrested 6 persons following a roadblock exercise on the Grove Public Road. During the arrest, officers recovered a stolen vehicle with fake number plates, $1,400 cash, latex gloves, a sledgehammer, and 4 pistols, 2 of which had their serial numbers removed. The 6 in custody are Marvin Blackman of Dar Street, South Rheinbelt, Nabidigi Gobin of Charlotte Street, Borda, Steve Hercules of Sisters Village, Renard Khan of Cooper Street, Alboys Town, Mark Prince of Parfait Harmony, and Edward Skeet of Independence Boulevard. Police established the roadblock following the attempted robbery of a poultry farmer around 7:10 that evening. The farmer raised an alarm and the 4 suspects escaped in a silver Toyota Premio. Police subsequently captured the suspects at the roadblock. After the break, the show must go on. Linden Town Week to continue amidst harassment scandal, and the GRDB posts higher than projected yields. But first, here's today's foreign currency exchange rates.
The Big King you love just chickened out. Introducing the new Chicken Big King with 2 crispy chicken patties and our signature King sauce. The new Chicken Big King, now part of our Burger King favorites. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL.
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go. Welcome back. This morning, President Granger confirmed that APNU and AFC will run together for the upcoming local government elections.
Say is that all 6 partners are committed to coalition politics, and we expect that this is the pace that we will present to the electorate at local government elections later this year. So that is our objective, and it's just a matter of working out the modalities.
Nonetheless, the PNC has already begun consultations with other coalition member parties. Earlier this year, the Alliance for Change expressed that it considered contesting the elections alone, a decision they reversed last week. Despite being marred by sexual harassment allegations, the mayor and town council of the mining town of Linden have confirmed that Linden Town Week celebrations will still be held this year. Esther Sobers tells us more.
Looking for a fun getaway for the entire family? Then come down to this year's Linden Town Week. The 10-day celebration starts the 21st of April to May 1st, 2018. As Linden Project Coordinator, Devin Sears highlighted that patrons can expect the unexpected.
Linden Town Week carries over 60 events in a space of 10 days.
Wow.
Over 60 events. And I'm talking, if you're thinking about family-oriented event, you have options. On-the-spot art for the kids, debating competitions, spelling bee, there's a trade fair, kids zone, there's an operator boat tour, there's a tour around Linden, there's hiking and camping and all these sorts of things.
This year marks 48 years for Linden as a town. It will be the 22nd annual town celebration, which is coordinated by the Mayor and Town Council of Linden. The MNTC will also be hosting a Mayor's Town Ball.
There's the Mayor's Ball that is being added to this year's calendar of event. Of course, you know that we have a new mayor, her worship, Bonica Arundale. So she's hosting a ball for all the special invitees on the 22nd of April. And while at that ceremony, she's going to be awarding all those outstanding residents over the year, whether it be in CSEC, Cape, GTE examination or athletics.
While patrons can expect a host of activities for several days, the much-anticipated Miss Linden pageant may not be a part of the celebrations following allegations of sexual harassment by prominent Linden businessman against one of the contestants.
It's a very unfortunate situation. If proven guilty or if proven the allegation is true, well then it's something that should not be condoned. And the council made a statement recently, that was last Sunday, regarding the same, and it stated clearly our position on women's rights, sexual misconduct and these things. But the council, while making that statement, is cognizant of the fact that it's an ongoing investigation.
The project coordinator noted that despite the brewing scandal, the contestants still want the pageant to be continued.
Some people believe that, are of the opinion that it will send a strong message, but we have young women who have worked over the last couple of months to reach this far. Mind you, the young lady or the delegate is no longer part of the pageant. Let's just say that she opted out after the issue happened. And
so how many persons are in the pageant now?
There are 7 delegates in the pageant. And during our discourse with them, they did mention that they want to go on with the pageant for the mere fact that they see it as a perfect opportunity to talk about women's rights and women's issues, because they believe that too many times we as a society take it as a norm. You know, a man maybe touches a young lady or makes certain remarks and we brush it over and we say that a man is a man whenever done. But they think that it's about time women speak up and speak out about sexual misconduct and on all these things, not only in workplace but even within their communities.
Despite the scandal, Shears encourages patrons to come out and be part of the Linden Town Week celebration. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Also in Linden, a family of 5 is now homeless following a devastating house fire on Monday. Curtis Higgins of 1 Mile Wismer, along with 4 family members, lived in the house. The fire reportedly started around 10 a.m. on Monday. They were able to save nothing from the house except a washing machine. One family member believes the fire was electrical in nature. She explained that a few days ago the house had an electrical issue which damaged their refrigerator. The fire is currently under investigation. The Guyana Rice Development Board reports higher than expected crop yields for this year thus far. Wendell Jeffrey has more.
The adaptation of the new kinds of seed paddy, types of fertilizations, and increased acreages for cultivation have begun to pay dividends within the rice industry. Higher yields amounting to a projection of over 500,000 tons of paddy for the ensuing quarter is far higher than the sum 400,000 tons earlier projected. Nisam Hassan, the manager of the Guyana Rice Development Board, is excited.
To date, we've seen excellent performance in the forced crop of 2018 for forced rice crop. To date, we have harvested over 59% across the country.
Hassan says that this is almost a tripling or quadrupling of the yields that the farmers are normally accustomed to.
We have seen an increase in yields. Yield increases have moved from 2 bags per acre to as much as 9 bags per acre. This has been really good for the farmers.
The Rice Board manager said that the farmers are also getting a higher return on their investments.
They have also been receiving higher prices for their production.
Up to the first week of April this year, some 51,000 acres of the 86,000 under paddy production have been harvested. That equates to about 5 million bags of paddy. In a sector that was once under the microscope for its dwindling productions and low paddy prices, Hassan says,
all of the production, the increased production that we have seen, has been committed to markets, which is a good thing for our producers and the business persons involved in the sale.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. One of the 4 youths who escaped from the New Opportunity Corps on Saturday has been recaptured. Reports indicate that the incident occurred around 10 a.m. and the girls are believed to have escaped into the backlands. The girls were sent to the institution for the offenses of wandering and unlawful wounding. One of the escapees was recaptured on Monday evening in Erie Hall, Essequibo Coast. The 3 other teenagers are on the run, and acting NOC Administrator Pasaram Singh is calling on residents to report students and strangers roaming in their communities. Join us after the break for your regional news, international news, and more. Ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
For all your floor covering needs.
You know, I'm tired telling you, stop thief electricity. Don't shush me. You're gonna kill yourself and burn down people out. Stop, I'm telling you, stop. This man don't hear you know. Hiya go. Look, I fed up with this stupidness, eh? I gonna fix this one here once and for all. Hello, GPL? Here now, I got a big problem wrong here. They got this chap who continuing to do it. Alright, Skipper, you are under arrest for stealing the electricity. People, stealing electricity is dangerous to life and property, and it is also against the law.
The Big King you love just chickened out. Introducing the new Chicken Big King with 2 crispy chicken patties and our signature king sauce. The new Chicken Big King, now part of our Burger King favorites. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
Welcome back. Here's your regional and international headlines of the day. The Royal Barbados Police Force has arrested a Bulgarian national who was wanted by the Antigua and Barbuda Police Force. 39-year-old Martin Decensky was arrested on board the cruise ship MSC Fantasia yesterday. Decensky is wanted by the Criminal Investigations Department in Antigua. He was on bail from the court there, having been arrested and charged with electronic fraud and larceny in December 2017. Several inmates and one guard have died in an attempted prison break in the Brazilian city of Belém. The inmates were aided by an armed group on the outside who tried to blow up a wall on Thursday, officials said. A heavy gunfight erupted at the Santa Isabel prison complex outside Parás state capital when the inmates and their supporters tried to stage the mass escape. The State Security Service identified 19 of the dead as prisoners or their supporters at the Santa Isabel Penitentiary. One guard was also killed. At least 4 guards were injured, including one who was in serious condition. And in international news, Wednesday morning, an Algerian military plane crashed near the nation's capital, killing 257 people on board. The aircraft came down shortly after taking off from Bofaric Military Airport. Most of the dead are Army personnel and their families, the Defense Ministry says. An investigation into the cause is underway. Wednesday's plane crash is considered one of the deadliest in history. And finally, oil prices have soared to their highest level since December 2014 amid the possibility of the U.S. carrying out airstrikes against Syria. Brent crude rose to $71.33 per barrel on Tuesday, marking its highest level since December 3, 2014. Although Syria is not a key oil producer, the wider Middle East is the world's most important crude exporter, and tensions in the region tend to disrupt oil markets. And now for your 7-day weather forecast and this week's Bridge Retraction schedule. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. But for now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.